Brothers and sisters and friends, this afternoon we want to talk about the ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet explains itself. We have a fight that's common to all of us. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Fresh edition is happening right now. It's April 25th, 2025. It's a Friday too, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. TGIF already, man. Flew by.
Happy Friday. Hope that all are feeling well and dry and not still floating down Saddle Creek.
Man. Hey, when you're right, you're right. When you're right, you're right.
Put your boat back in the garage.
Man, been talking about flood mitigation for a while.
Buddy been talking about flood mitigation for a while. A lot of people are just now understanding, especially people that haven't been here since it flooded the last time, that Saddle Creek
is a creek.
Shout out to RG. He says, coming with it Friday. Appreciate that, man. Pops in the chat saying good Friday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Leia Keister, it's your turn, I think, on this one.
Yeah, I think so. Laying it on us, Leia. Happy Friday. Yip, yo, you. Yip, yay, yay. Yip, yo. Yip, yo.
All right. She threw a U in there.
Yeah, she did. And a couple yo's.
That's what's up. Appreciate that. Mama God gives us a good morning, fam. Good morning. Sean McCarthy says morning. Leia Keister says happy. Heard that. She forgot to put the exclamation point on the happy.
Yeah, happy.
RG says yesterday was the first deluge of the year. Yeah, man. We're going to talk about it for sure. Sean McCarthy said, hope the flash flooding didn't affect anyone.
Man.
Mama God said, you sound better, Paul. Feel much better. Thank you. Yes. I've never taken so much time to dry out in my life. So I was very, 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 things were active, and now I'm finally getting back to normal. So I appreciate that very much. Arrow 402 says payday like a mug.
Okay,
it's Friday. I heard that, man. I like Friday paydays. I'll never have one hardly, but
man,
it's good. Feels good to be Johnny Kemp just got paid on Friday.
Friday night.
Hey, anybody get paid? Anybody going out?
Man, I had one job I got paid every week.
Oh, okay.
It was nice.
How'd you like it? You like it?
I mean, I was making boxes, so it was like factory work, Yeah. But
they got to do it every week so they can keep you coming back.
Every Friday, think about quitting.
Give me that check on the first, and I don't get another one for another month. You might see me half the time. Marlon Harrison gives us a good morning, First Sky fam. He said I went fishing on Saddle Creek and caught me 4 catfish. Hey, yeah, man, we got to talk about it. First things first, we definitely got to make sure that we check in with everybody, make sure everybody was safe and okay. Flash flooding yesterday. There was all kinds of tornado watches and hailstorms, and then of course the flash flooding led to flooding everywhere. Big time flooding on Saddle Creek. We'll talk about it. People had to get rescued from their cars and all kinds of stuff over there yesterday. So let us know if it affected you. We'd love to hear about that. If you've checked in with loved ones, family, make sure everybody was okay. I know I got hit hard yesterday. I happened to be in Council Bluffs, and my phone starts blowing up. They're just like, hey, where you at? What's going on? The fam was checking in and hadn't heard from me because I'm usually the one that calls everybody when some bad weather's starting up. And I was kind of out there and oblivious, and apparently like the tornado warning and all that stuff was happening there. So I was kind of like stuck out there for a little minute. Rain was too heavy to come back through. So yeah, man. So it was a little hectic out here, and it's amazing how fast it happens, because it'll be nice out, sunny out, and literally an hour later you're like fighting through 70-mile-an-hour winds.
Monsoon.
Yeah, craziness. We'll definitely as a matter of fact, might as well get it out of the way now. I kind of wanted to show a little bit of what's happening. Thanks for posting stuff on Friends of First Sky Omaha. For those of you that hadn't seen this, quite the situation. Let me see if I can get something going here.
Trash can just floating.
Yeah, big time, man. Flash, you know what I'm saying?
You can see is that a charger sitting in the background, just submerged?
Just submerged. Yeah, it was up to the window. It was up past the windows on stuff. People actually got stuck in their cars, and there was some rescue things that happened with some people on that. So yeah, it was tough. It was a tough day yesterday on that level in a really big way, and just want to make sure everybody stays safe and was safe. Let us know if your car got damaged.
Man,
Yeah, it was craziness.
man. Okay, I see you, Marlon Harrison.
What you say?
Hopping downstream for the margaritas, huh?
There it is. Don and Millie's happy hour. Them dollar margaritas ain't no joke.
Yeah. Everybody know about the margaritas, huh?
Sue Kessler Hagen gave us a good morning. All good morning to you. Appreciate you guys coming in. Lots of stuff happening today as it is Friday. We'll jump right into some of these community updates. First and foremost, we're kind of laughing here, but a little sad note, man. We got some other new folks missing.
Man.
Yeah, kind of messed up. This guy Ryan Harold was last seen April 23rd. He's age 15, 5'7", 130 pounds. Last seen in the evening in Hastings. Says there is concern for his well-being and he may be in a vulnerable state. So shout out to everybody who's really posting these. I'm seeing these a lot lately where we've been hearing reports of people that have been missing, but we not it didn't seem like we had the ecosystem to really get this around much, but this is happening more and more. So they said call the Hastings PD for this one if you see him 402-461-2364. And of course we got to go back to some of the ones that have not been found yet. Acacia Lopez. Matter of fact, they had a new flyer for her because I think they updated some information. Let me see if I have that one real quick. Yeah, she's still missing. She's been missing since March 26th now. So this is another flyer that's been going around. Stolen Spirits, MMIWG at Gmail. They said please contact Omaha Police Department though. So still OPD if you see her 402-444-4600. Again, this is a 14-year-old. They're really concerned, with her young age, and she's been missing now since March 26th. So this is a month out, and they're still looking. So yeah, unfortunately. This is happening, and we got to try to do, what we can. We're always on our platform try to spread the word as much as possible, get people out and around looking. This is going to be a staple for us for forever. We got to help, especially when it comes to our community that sometimes feels like we're not getting as much attention. But I will say that from my experience, I'm seeing law enforcement and a lot of other people really doing a lot to try to find, and try to search for a lot of these folks. So
Man.
yeah. Anybody has any information or connected to any of the families that want to come and talk or anything like that, please let us know for sure.
Yeah. Hearts and mind also goes out to the young girls in the river, especially in light of some of these storms, man. I can't imagine, that these storms are helping much.
Yeah. And from what I understand, that search is still going on by all parties involved as well. So tough stuff there. So yeah, just wanted to make sure that we say that and make sure that we keep an eye out for these young folks that are missing here. So moving on right now, we got Union Open House coming up, Union Day Open House coming up. That's tomorrow, Saturday, April 26th. Join us for our very first Union Day Open House. So they do Union Day. We're doing Union Days like over the years, but this is an open house. So they're really trying to open up and make sure that you come in and see the facility.
Yeah, man.
And check out everything that there is going on there. So that's what's up. I see it's sponsored by Fiber First and Pull Up and Vibe. Shout out to Pull Up and Vibe.
Yeah.
It's event group that's been really gaining speed here and putting on some good shows. So I'm glad to see some collaboration there. That really feels like Northo collaboration happening right there with Pull Up and Vibe and the Union for Contemporary Art. And that's what we need. So we need that. So yeah, pull up Saturday and check it out. That's 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and go check out the facility, man. Say hi, meet some folks.
Man, Mama God. I know you've been asking me about the Union. It'd be a good time to check it out.
There you go. Good morning, Michelle Moreno. See you said hi in the chat there. Good morning to you. Moving on, Beyond the Stigma is coming back.
Hey.
Yeah, man, that's tomorrow as well from 3 to 5. Your brother who's been hearing about these and it's time to show up. Assembly of the Saints, 4224 North 24th Street. Yeah, this is a group of men that kind of get together and try to work out, just have some talk, just have some support for each other and be able to talk and deal with emotions. There's not a lot of groups that cater to men's emotions in the way that the brother here has been doing with this Beyond the Stigma project. So shout out to him. Shout out for this going out again April 26th. If you make it, if you can, and spread the word for us as well too, man. It's good to get as many men involved in this as possible, for real. So that's what's happening. One of the homies, Blake DeForest, trumpet player, one of the guys that's in the horn teams that you see all over the place. Getting down on some jazz, checking him out. An evening with Blake DeForest quartet happening
Okay.
today from 7:30 to 10:30 tonight in the Capital District. He's down there in the Capital doing some things. So if you haven't had a chance to go to the Capital District and check out some music and stuff like that, it's a good opportunity to do that. Blake, he's First Sky Omaha fam for real. You might have seen him with me as we were doing some work, having interviews with the candidates. He was out there helping me with that. I call him Tricky. That's my boy right there.
Yeah.
Cool cat. So yeah, man, support him and his quartet. He's out here trying to do some real music, and that's tonight at 1030 Capitol Avenue. An evening with Blake DeForest Quartet, 7:30 tonight. Check him out if you can. Also, what's happening this weekend, April 25th through 27th, the Benson Film Festival is going down
Hey,
out
nice.
the Benson Theater. They're back. Yeah, this is, I think, the third or fourth year they've been there. Yeah, third year, I think.
Yeah,
they've done this. So shout out to these small film festivals, man. A lot of stuff is coming out of them, and I love the fact that we have one really locally here with this Benson Film Festival. So that's what's up. And of course, at the legendary Benson Theater, it's happening. So get your tickets. Go to bensonfilmfest.com, or you can go to bensontheater.org and get some tickets as well for the Benson Film Festival happening this weekend.
Man,
And Lavelle Wells is having some more native soul Big Elk Indian tacos available, and this is coming up. I don't know if you guys know where the Center Mall is, but he's been doing this at the Center Mall for a while. This is happening. It's coming up on May 2nd. And yeah, every time I go in there and check out what's going on in the Center Mall, I always think, man, this is such a big, I'm sure back in the day this was the spot. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of still a lot of businesses and stuff in there now, and his native soul Big Elk office is in there, and this is where he's doing his Indian tacos. So support him. The Indian taco sale kind of supports what he's doing, which is really supporting the native and the black community and bringing them together in a big way. Shout out to our brother Lavelle Wells, man. He does the thing.
yeah,
So
good deal.
yeah, check that out May 2nd. We'll put all this stuff is going to be Friends of First Sky Omaha, so you can see what's going on with it and all that stuff. Also wanted to give a big shout out to Tamika Renee. This is what it looks like to support black business right here. She says, we treated our staff to Rib Shack Smokehouse for lunch today. Everything was delicious and the service was fantastic as always. Thank you, Miss Jackie Robbins, for your hospitality. Shout out to Rib Shack, you gotta say it right.
The Rib Shack.
Say it right. And shout out to Tamika Renee. I mean, I worked at a lot of companies where the company took us out to lunch, and they didn't always take us to black-owned spots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So shout out to Tamika Renee taking her whole team, treating her whole staff to some food, and that was a nice big bill for Rib Shack. I'm quite sure. So
Yeah.
that's what it looks like, man. I love it on a high level. Shout out to Tamika Renee for that, and shout out to the Rib Shack Smokehouse, man.
The Rib Shack.
They get down. They get
Yeah.
down. One more thing I want to go ahead.
Barbecue for Love event. Had that already happened? Is that speaking of the Rib Shack?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure about that. I have to go back and try to find those flyers
Okay.
there.
Okay. I'll look
See
at
what's
that.
happening there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on here a little bit on the Haps though. Over at the church art house, UNO School of Arts pop-up exhibition is happening. I've been kind of following around to see what goes on at the UNO School of the Arts, and they are producing a lot of great artists out of there. As a matter of fact, I
Yeah.
always see something I think is really dope. This is featuring the work of 29 emerging studio artists from Art and Art History's Bachelor of Arts in Studio Arts program. This is happening Friday. This is happening tonight, 5:30 to 8:30 at the Church Art House over there in the Vinton Street area, where they got a lot of art stuff going on. So definitely check those people out. The Church Art House is kind of one of those spots. First of all, the owner of that is a First Guy Omaha, a friend and supporter, and
Yep.
also that's where you can go see Aggie Kid and a whole bunch of other shows and stuff like that over there. They're really supporting
Yeah.
local hip hop and the arts and everything over there at the Church Art House. If you haven't checked it out, please do. Please do. It's a pretty cool spot, pretty open spot, 3101 South 20th Street in Omaha. And yeah, definitely check them out. support, if you would. We've been seeing this floating around a little bit. The 15th anniversary award and banquet.
Eee.
This is coming up. Put it on your calendar here. July 19th. This is happening. I saw Sherman. I was like, okay, what's
Big
going
Sherman.
on here? 15 years of purpose, power, and possibility. I love this. Honoring Sherman and Cashel Wells, a cornerstone of accountability award. So kind of an award show. We're going to get more information about this 15th anniversary annual and banquet ceremony. Award and banquet ceremony. We'll see what's happening with this, and maybe we'll have somebody on to talk about what's going on. But they already are on the right foot with me if they're going to be honoring the Wells family here with the
Man,
accountability award. I love it.
love is in the air. Love is in the air.
Love is in the air. I know I had a lot of haps today. It is Friday. Had a lot of haps today. If you got haps, please let us know as well. We'd love to see that. RG says still need to slide out to the Rib Shack too. Yeah, man, for real, for real. Mama God says neighborhood spring cleanup. She got a hap. Says neighborhood spring cleanup starts Friday, Saturday, and May. Saturday of May. Go to wasteline.org to drop off locations and schedule. Get your junk ready. Keep our community clean. Heard that? And keep the storage unit clean is what I need to do.
Yeah.
The real way. So yeah, appreciate that. Marianne Williams says good morning all. Kara Warner is in there, says thank you for sharing. Yeah, appreciate that. I'd love to have more information about that for real. Before we get over to what we're going to be talking about today, I just wanted to give a shout out. I finally had a couple of it's funny now that I think about it. I had a couple of appointments cancel on me yesterday afternoon, and I was wondering like how's back to back everybody's canceling. I guess it's because they were looking at the weather and saw that we were about to be in trouble, and I didn't know. So I was like, well, 3 of my appointments crashed. That's the next 3 hours. What should I do while I'm out here? And I said, let me hop over here and go check out what's happening while I'm out here by myself, seeing what's up. So I went and checked it out, bro. First of all, Kugler is the dude.
Hey,
I'm gonna just tell you, Michael B. Jordan, Sinners. If you haven't seen it, when I went out there, I ran into artist Patty Talbert. She was like, "This is my third time. I just come back." It's that good, huh? It's that good. The movie's good, killing the game. But the big news with him, this brother did a deal in Hollywood that has not been seen by anybody. He requested and received a rare stake in his studio-produced film, securing from Warner Brothers' first dollar gross points and final cut and ownership of the film in 25 years. So this is kind of unheard of in Hollywood. This happened maybe a couple times, never to any African American filmmaker. But he's getting some big time money for this in control and final cut. He got creative control from a studio, and you said he was Warner. You said he was Disney, right? That's Disney.
I'm not sure if that Sinners is Disney, but I know, of course, the Black Panther films. A lot of films that Ryan Coogler does with Disney. But I have to look into whether or not Sinners itself is Disney.
I think this is the deal with Warner Brothers, as a matter of fact. And that's big news. There is that we talk about ownership all the time. Like for musicians, this is the equivalent of him getting his masters and getting a bigger percentage of the sales up front with not a money up front to have to recoup, but being able to have points on that money. I mean, it's a huge deal. So shout out to Ryan Coogler for first of all putting out super relevant, dope films, and then on top of that, showing everybody how to do some real business in a big way. So if you haven't seen it, definitely say go check it out for real.
Also, got to shout out the Omaha Connection. The Omaha Connection. Yeah. Shout out to my cousin Kevis McGaw, aka K2. He has worked on Sinners, the film, and actually a lot of other Marvel films. Look out. But he is a storyboard artist for Disney and Marvel. And I guess he worked on Sinners as well. So big shout out to my cuz K2. Yeah, might have to bring him on very soon to talk about some of the things. We had Andrew Norman on. Not Andrew Norman, Floyd Norman. Thank you. Shout out to Andrew Norman though. Yeah. But Floyd Norman on back in the Mind and Soul days. So yeah, it'd be nice to full circle.
You don't know who Floyd Norman is? He's legendary. One of the first and I think the only for a long time Black animators at Disney from back in the day, like when he was working with Walt back in the day. Big history there in a big way. Appreciate that. Your cousin is somebody who I always think about, who was super talented and almost felt like a little too talented for here because there is no industry here. And it was proven. He went out to where the industry was, and he's doing big things in the industry. You know what I'm saying? So shout out. But just like everybody else who leaves Omaha, they feel that they still feel that very strong connection to Omaha and come back, and Omaha's on their mind in a big way, and they always connect back, and that's the whole basis of Native Omaha Days. People coming back to town every 2 years that went out somewhere else and did something else. So you know what I'm saying? That's what's up. I appreciate that for you to sit through the community updates. I know there was a lot today. We still have a lot to talk about coming up. A little bit more information. Karen Warner, I appreciate you for giving us information. She says, this is our organization. Beauty is Skin Deep Summer Program and Awards Ceremony. That's what's happening. I can't wait to see what's going on with this. Can't wait. This is new to me, so this might be the first year I get to go check it out and see what's happening. But I love it. I love what's happening. She says event starts at 3 p.m. This is July 19th. Put it on your calendars. 5001 North 42nd Street in Omaha. So okay, this is local too. That's what's up. Can't wait to go check this out. I appreciate you being in the chat, giving us some more information on that as well. And we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it even further. So there you go. And if that will do it for our community updates for the moment. We'll have a little bit more talk about some Haps a little later on in the show. But before we get too far out of pocket here, what's today's topics of conversation, buddy? What's on your mind?
Man, kind of a continuation from Wednesday's News Wednesday. I got a lot of things to try to cover, and we're just gonna, toss it to you. One of the big things, of course, an update on the City View situation, which we've been kind of keeping an eye on, and that really kind of using that as a big example for citizen journalism, which is something again that's heavy on our minds, especially now as things are ramping up and going in the right direction for us, and also we're preparing for our content creators camp sometime this spring and summer. So yeah, gearing up for that. Would definitely love anyone who's interested to reach out and continue to build with that. But it's not just us. Again, shout out to Nebraska Examiner reporting actually several newspapers throughout the state turning to citizen journalists. And in light of what's going on with the Trump administration, again, the need for information is at an all-time high, kind of talking about some of the impacts of the Trump administration, not just what's going on with news and information, i.e. the changes at 60 Minutes, but also, again, a far reach from when Biden was in office, talking about student loan forgiveness, and now very unforgiving as far as student loans goes. Again, it's starting to ramp back up on collections and maybe even garnishing some wages. So if you still owe student loans out there, you might want to listen up on that situation. But again, all that and more. Again, several things going on throughout the community. There's also some news coming out about the Crush Ultra Lounge situation, or now it's the Crush Private Club with a K. Paul has some thoughts about how that might affect the nightlife around here. Man.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw it. Crush said we're back.
But are they? Yeah, man. So we'll be talking about all that and more throughout the show. Of course, if there's anything on your hearts and minds, feel free to chime into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. And yeah, let's keep it moving. Paul B, what's the word?
Man, let's take a quick break. You're listening to First Guy Omaha in the morning.
My
name is Paul B. He's Buddy the God.
What's up?
Shout out to you, the Chad Chimers, Ghost listeners, and monitoring spirits. We'll be right back.
Lead poisoning in children under 7 is scary, but it's also 100% preventable. Not only can lead be found in paint and soil, it can be found in many common spices, certain baby foods, and brought home from job sites. Children with lead poisoning might not show any symptoms until their levels are dangerously high. So ask your healthcare provider for a lead test for your child. You can help prevent lead poisoning in children. Brought to you.
Shout out to Douglas County Health Department for that message. We appreciate them sending that message through us as well. We want to keep on keeping it on people's minds, especially in our area. We got to deal with the ground problems, lead in the ground, in the soil. We live next to, this coal plant, so we got to deal with pollution in the air. And now we got to be looking at foods and spices and everything else, man, and make sure. And then we also live in a lot of the houses in North Omaha are really, really old, and if they have not been updated, then there could be lead poisoning, lead paint all over the house, on the window sills and everything else. So just something to look out for and keep on our minds, and put it on your list to test your situation out, even if you're renting somewhere or in an older apartment or anything. So shout out to them for that. Also, shout out to Precious McKesson sending the message through us. The elections are coming up. City of General still in the ballot and the bullet season is going on right now. Sydney general elections is happening for Lincoln. It'll be May 6th. I had it backwards, man. I thought it was Omaha May 6th, but it's Lincoln May 6th and Omaha May 13th. So it's coming up. You have to make your choices on who it is that you are going to choose for mayor. There's the Democratic possibilities here coming from the Nebraska Dem. Shout out to Precious McKesson. Of course, we're looking at this John Ewing race with Mayor Stothard. We might have a chance to have a new mayor here. So, yeah, it's going down. And also, of course, Omaha City Council 2 is also the big contentious race as well, because the incumbent didn't make it. It's LaVanya Goodwin this time. She's going to be up against a previous city council member, Ben Gray. And there's been a lot of discussion going on there for that. So shout out to everybody who's putting efforts behind making that happen. I'm seeing people chime up, especially about the mayor's race that I haven't even seen been involved in politics at all. And it's on their mind, and they're understanding they got a chance to bring in somebody new, and everybody's having some discussions. Check us out over at YouTube. We're still doing videos for getting to know the candidates. We got some new ones they're going to be coming up by next week for the people who've won the primaries, and so you can make your decision about the generals. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, if you're over there on YouTube, check us out. We have a whole playlist of get to know the candidates. And while you're there, please like and subscribe as well, so we can kind of build our audience on YouTube up. We got a lot of stuff coming from YouTube, so most definitely. Before we get to the conversation, I see Maggie Miller Jenkins in the chat saying 67 pages of Trump budget were released, and Head Start is funded at $0. That will rock families and the workforce. Thank you for this news. We'll be looking into it further to try to figure out some things here. She says also, I haven't heard enough about South Sudanese visas being revoked, considering we are one of the most heavily populated cities for Sudanese refugees and immigrants. Okay, another one to look into. Appreciate that, Maggie Miller Jenkins. We're going to put you on the team, man. For real,
man. I haven't forgot. She's reached out. I haven't forgot. That's what's up. But man, it's hard to keep up. I'll just say that it's hard to keep up with everything coming out of the Trump administration and all of the changes and just how far-reaching some of these implications and just the impacts will have. Yeah,
big time. One last thing she says, also Stonewall Democrat Chair Michael Marchek was arrested for possession with intent to distribute and has been removed from all Dem websites.
What?
Yeah, man.
What?
Was slinging a little weed, got caught.
What?
Yeah, man.
Stonewall got a pocket full of stones?
No, wasn't stones. Just a little weed. That's just state for you. A lot of people upset about that. Apparently, the Democrats can't get behind that. It's still illegal, but man, that's in the debate we talk about all the time. The legalization of it out here. So, yeah, interesting. But yeah, there you go. So some other news that's going on around here. Appreciate Maggie Miller Jenkins for jumping in on that with some information there. We'll definitely be talking about some of those things. I see Black Dynamite in the chat saying, "Good morning, y'all. It's Friday. We made it." I heard that.
Indeed.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and make some more noise here with our conversations. Buddy, what's first on the agenda?
Man, thinking about brain drain. Thinking about kind of what I mentioned last episode, as far as, family members urging me not to come back to Omaha. Again, we're talking about, elections and what are we talking about here on the show, beyond just bigging up the dope things about Omaha and trying to improve what we see is wrong about Omaha. And, be trying to protect and maintain the community that we all grew up in, connected to, and love. And I'll break it down to 3 things that I'm seeing, and we'll address 2 of them today, as far as the brain drain and just some of the issues as far as work, play, and live. You can knock those 3 things. If you got somewhere to work, got somewhere to live, got somewhere to play, then you're in a good position. You got a reason to stick around.
Yeah, I feel that. Family,
getting harder.
I think family is another big one too. Raising a family.
Yeah, definitely. But it's hard to raise a family, when there's not really anywhere to work. We've been talking about the economic development, especially in North Omaha, the lack of jobs and opportunities, but also somewhere to live and somewhere to play plays a big part in that, which is why, I want to kick off today's conversation with the updates of the City View situation and just the whole housing conversation. And also the Crush Lounge situation. Again, this is something that's near to me as a young person, as a DJ, very, very interested and invested, if you will, in the nightlife of a community. And although I don't live in Omaha, when I come back to Omaha, I like to work. I like to pay for that plane ticket that I just spent to come. Man. So, if I can find some late night spots to do my DJ thing, nice. And just for my friends who still live in Omaha, you want to have somewhere to play after you're working hard and fighting in the legislative and the courts and the public meetings and things like that. You guys need somewhere to unwind, which is why this whole Crush Ultra Lounge situation is concerning to me. And Paul, I'll toss it to you here in a second because I know you have your own concerns. But for those who haven't been paying attention, again, Crush Ultra Lounge was used to be formerly the Throwback Lounge downtown, has had some issues with complaints, noises, disturbances, if you will. And now the solution that they have come up with all this situation is a private club, which I actually saw somebody in the chat earlier, RG, hitting them with the private club situation, which is their workaround for the liquor license ordeal. Again, in Omaha, there's a kind of a loophole, you can call it, as far as you don't need a liquor license if you are a private club for your patrons to bring their own bottle, aka BYOB, which is something that, again, the Crush Ultra Lounge is trying to rebrand itself as. You got that image, we're back is their message.
Sure.
Again, going from Crush Ultra Lounge to Crush Private Club is the name that they're calling it. And again, there's some pushback from this, as the State Liquor Commission is not going for it. They're not falling for it. Again, they're saying that this move will be illegal. And again, the argument is whether or not Crush Ultra Lounge is actually, or now I guess call it Crush Private Club, if it is actually a private club. And to that point, Paul, you feel like that might actually impact some other areas of Omaha nightlife. Again, shout out to the biker clubs, the social clubs, as we'll call them in the community.
Yep. Let me get to it. It's definitely something that's concerning to me. First of all, for a little bit of context, we've been hearing about this Crush Ultra Lounge situation for a while. A lot of people in our community were happy that it was getting shut down, which I thought was interesting, because where do young people go? It's not just a question of do young people have a place to go play? It's also a question of we need places for people to be occupied and do things, because of it's almost like a need out here in a big way, because of the fact that there's such a lack of things that keep people around. And so this was kind of a double-edged sword here when it came to what was going on. We've seen them in the news. We've seen them in city council. They've been fighting. Part of the story has been that they are the ones that kind of cater to young Black folks and bring in those kinds of acts. And some of those acts get crowds going where it ends up in some violence and stuff like that sometimes. And that was really a heavy factor in whether or not they were even going to get their liquor license renewed. And they basically, instead of them going through the scrutiny of having to look at their situation, they already knew was probably not coming. It was all indications saying to them that they weren't going to get their liquor license back. So they just said, well, we'll withdraw that and we'll change our whole format. And so everybody was kind of talking about the fact that that Ultra Lounge was getting shut down. And then, like Buddy is saying, right away, it came back. We're back. And they decided to restructure and do this whole private club situation because, as Buddy explained, there is a stipulation in here for your private club. So the question with Crush is, are you a private club or a public club? It's a very public club, and I think that's the reason why they're gonna get this pushback on this. But my concern is the fact that they're shining such a light on this situation here. They kind of taking it in your words that there's a loophole here in the city.
Man.
They're taking advantage of this, and it's really affects our community in a big way because our community has a lot of private clubs, and it's bring your own bottle. And we kind of know that our private clubs, sometimes some of the motorcycle clubs and stuff like that, get attacked a lot. They always are trying to do stuff to shut those down as well. And if a lot of lights get shined on this loophole, next thing I know, they're going to be trying to shut down other spots, saying that they're not private. They're not private clubs. They're public clubs, and so on and so forth. And I think that might be a little bit of an issue. So this just want to make it clear. This is not so much that we're talking too much about Crush as a club individual.
Right.
It is in the news, but you already know that we haven't had much discussion on this, except for like, our folks need to be thinking about something else than going and tripping at Crush. And you know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, I feel like it's something that might be shining a light on other situations that might affect our communities. A lot of us in our community have joined other clubs. There's places all over the north side that's like that. And for the most part, everything's been cool with it. But I'm a little concerned that this might affect their situation. So what say you? Yeah, if you're part of any of the private clubs, have you felt any pushback from the city trying to shut down your club if you're in a motorcycle club, or any of the other clubs out there that have this? And what are your thoughts on that? And we'll see. As far as Crush is concerned, we'll see what their fate is. They seem to be in the battle just constantly for years. I think I might, even if I was them, I might even go into a whole nother line of work, another kind of business. But the fight continues on with them as well, and they have made it clear that they feel like the fight is against them because they cater to the black culture, young black culture, and they bring the kind of guests they bring in town and stuff like that. They feel like nobody else is bringing these folks in town for these young black folks, the guests that young black folks wants to see. And so they've been battling this whole time, and here we are. I mean, this is not the first time that we heard a club that is catering to black folks, or a black clubs, getting shut down and getting their liquor license revoked. There'd be a fight, and all of a sudden we can't have that club no more, and that type of stuff. So this is just to me, it's a escalation of that idea that we still have to pay really close attention to where we gather, where we play, what we do. We already have places where we set up security for those places, so that we can make sure that the young folks are not getting themselves in any trouble and stuff like that. We got to go extra. We go the extra mile to do that, and still get pushback from the city on stuff sometimes. So yeah, that's my idea about that. What say you? I'd love to hear what your experience is.
Chat's going off.
Yeah, Kimber says Crush is going to mess it up for the historical, actual private clubs. Right. Thank you. I'll go 5 minutes on something, and Kimber will come in with one sentence and say, she said, "We've seen that happen when the patrons get on that liquor. We've seen that happen." That's another thing. Where's the regulation when you're a private club? You got to self-regulate. You got to self-regulate who's in your club and who's getting drunk and so on. You know what I'm saying?
Which I could see why, Sister Kimber is saying they might mess it up, because per, our security extraordinaire, Brother Kasim, he says it's not the safest place. So, it's not, to your point, it's not just about Crush Lounge. It's just about the idea of having a third place. You know what I mean? Even watching Sinners, part of that, they were partying. They were getting down. Like, we as a people, we need a place to unwind and also congregate with each other. Some relationships, some deals. You never know what kind of community connection can happen at a party, or at some kind of nightlife event. We need a third place to live together and unwind.
Black Dynamite says nobody has said anything about Club Omaha or other spots, Club 186 or whatever it was called, which are BYOB spots.
Yep.
I did hear some people trying to go in on Club Omaha a few times, and they were trying to go through that route of like, well, you guys, you just bring your own bottle, so and so that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we're this close from like a legislation, somebody trying to put some legislation out there that you can't be a private club with bring your own bottle anymore, and what will that do for the private clubs, especially from what I'm hearing as well. So RG said, "Word on the street, I'm hearing Crush is out here dry snitching."
Man, they snitching on the other clubs. They trying to shut it down.
Yeah, no,
Hope not.
Yeah. Appreciate all your comments on that. Definitely
Yeah.
Sherman Wells says maybe they should turn in Crush Exercise Club. Shout out Sherman Wells. Yeah, this is what I tell you, man. Every time we talk about Crush, man, the community chimes up and they're just like, "Yeah, all right." As a matter of fact, I think Brother Kasim was like, when they said they were getting shut down, he was like, "Good."
Yeah. Hey, if they are, dry snitching or they are jeopardizing other institutions, shout out to LD and man, everybody out there. Then yeah, good riddance, good riddance. But just the point is nightlife in general.
Make sure, absolutely. Kimmer says the man who was killed on 24th Street a few months ago because he was out there shooting up stuff had just left Crush. Wow. Also, Wanda Lewis in the chat, good morning, says the question is what's the head count before they shut it down? That's a good question. 10
people. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 10 people. Yeah.
Also, further down the chat, Sister Wanda Lewis said, with the new city council in D2, bye nightlife. Man,
you know what I'm saying? We did an interview with Lavanya Goodwin, who was actively working to stop some of the nightlife, especially some of the late night stuff, by putting ordinances. She wants to put ordinances and stuff in place to not do stuff after a certain time frame, or noise ordinances and all kinds of other things to kind of squash some of that stuff that's been happening. In order to do that, I mean, she had a point. There was some violence that happened when the late night stuff went down.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm saying. So this is it'll be really interesting to see how controlled our nightlife would be. Let's jump back on the Deuce for a minute. What's there to do on the Deuce for young or old folks?
Man,
you can go to the Elks. You know what I'm saying? Noma. You know what I'm saying, for some of the jazz stuff. But what's going on? Where do young folks go? Kind of question too.
Great question. And again, moving along, it's not just about play. Where do you go to play and congregate with your friends, but also where do you go to live, man? Like that plays a big part in it too. And again, as we see with the City View situation, it's not just about affordable housing. It's also about safe housing. Can we get some safe housing? It's one thing to be able to afford it, but if what you can afford got rats and mold and anybody could walk in the building at any point in time, then is it really worth it? And again, this is some good news, I would say, as far as again the news of the receivership for City View Apartments in general.
Mm-hmm.
But again, talking about work, play, live. Man, it's getting hard. I think somebody in the chat actually mentioned about a housing situation in the chat. I might have missed it. But again, the news coming out actually out of several outlets, Channel 3, Channel 6, also reporting on this. Again, City View Apartments has been put in a receivership by a judge, actually at request from the bank, which is quite interesting. Wow. The bank who again gave the loan for the property, apparently Sadiq Property Management, which is the management company that owns the property. They're about $18 million in debt. They received a loan for about $16.5 million and has another close to $1 million in past due interest, taxes, and insurance. So not only are they not paying to maintain the building, but they're just not paying for the building, period. Like, it's just
that money.
I don't know, because shout out to all the citizen journalists out there, Chat Chimer, sharing a lot of the stories about Sadiq properties, not just in Omaha, but across the nation, around the nation. They've been in trouble. So I don't know, man. Maybe they're just pocketing the money and not reinvesting it. Whatever's going on, looks like it's not going to be going on for too much longer. Again, as the bank has asked the judge to step in to have a third party manage the property, which again, it has led to the receivership. Court documents, according to the article, also indicate that the bank requested the receivership, hoping to stabilize apartment operations and may lead to the sale of the property. So
I did hear that there was a couple Sadiq properties for sale, and I think in other states. So that's coming.
Man. Yeah. So as far as the City View situation, the housing, Fight the Towers, still continues. Again, half of these properties are Omaha Housing Authority properties as well. So this is kind of the prime example of the housing fight in Omaha altogether. Again, not just the man, I just drew a blank on some of the property managers, not just the Sodics out there, but public housing as well, all in this situation. And big shout out to the citizen journalists for keeping the light on this and keeping on the gas. The Sherman Wells, the Paul Filmans out there for making this happen. Really.
Yeah, we really kind of see them out there, putting the time in, man. Paul Filman standing outside the towers, Sherman Wells going into City View with cameras. The only time we ever get a response out of the mayor and out of people is when all that has been drummed up now, and there's too much heat on it. Then it feels like that's when we're getting some people that are looking into it. And then really kind of it's a pattern. The very next thing that happens is stuff starts getting shut down and people start getting displaced. And unfortunately, that's been kind of the pattern here. We are showing, citizen journalists popping up, showing that there's some problems. Everybody starts talking about it. We generate some heat. News picks it up, and then major news picks it up. And then all of a sudden now, city officials are saying something, but and looking into stuff. And then what happens next? Stuff like this. This is really a trip. And if for those of you that are wondering why we always are talking about City View or OHA, housing is so bad out here. It really is kind of like that is if we can't get into OHA housing or City View or places like City View that have cheaper rent. It's not just if you say the market rate right now is $1,200 for a 1-bedroom, and you can't afford that and got more people in your family, and you try to go look for some of these $600 and $700 spots, a lot of times they're going to be dilapidated properties, and the property owners are not really doing nothing to keep things safe there, and they're on the verge of literally blocking the street off, shipping everybody out like they did on Lake Street that one time, and shutting down the whole and condemning the whole spot. And I mean, it'll go from people who are paying rent in these spots to you're out because you can't even live in these buildings. The ceilings are falling in and all that kind of stuff. So it's messed up. And we keep on talking about this because that's the most vulnerable of us are in situations like that all the time. And what we want is affordable housing that is safe to live in. And that is just something I feel like OHA, Omaha Housing Authority, should be on the forefront of making sure that happens for us or the citizens of Omaha, Nebraska. And that's why there's been such a problem, and there's been lawsuits and all kinds of stuff going on. So really messed up, and all kinds of other forces as well. And before we also get too deep in it, the next level of that is we have to address like the homeless situation that's out here, because if you can't get into OHA property or something like that, or into the towers, where can you go after that?
Man,
this is the reason why we have so much homeless stuff going on recently in the news. Shout out to Clarice Jackson, who's reminded me about this. The homeless disparity, and that family arrested for living in their van with their 7 children is an indication that we need greater resources, including financial literacy, meaningful wage employment, and affordable housing.
Man,
I gotta say, shout out to Katie Rain, who put the article of that situation in Friends of First Sky Omaha, and her caption was, instead of giving these folks support for these 7 children that they got, they're gonna get arrested.
So which is
you're gonna arrest some folks. How's anything gonna be helped by you arresting the parents of this family, instead of like coming up with some resources to help this family get into any other community would help that family get into a house, get somewhere where they can take care of them kids.
Here's the kicker on that part, though. Here's the kicker on that, because if you arrest the parents, what happens to the children?
That's what I'm saying.
They become wards of the state. So you
breaking up a black family.
But even beyond that, like the state still has to support the kids. Like whether you keep the parents, like you just locked up the parents to still pay tax dollars and state dollars to put them in the foster care system to still support them. Why not just keep them with their parents and support them? That's what it makes no sense.
There's not even a program for that. There's not even a half working nonprofit organization that has a program for that. It seems like to me. I don't understand it. I don't understand what is the problem? Where is the disconnect? And if nobody knew about it until the police knew about it, this is the kind of stuff I wish the police department would do more of. It don't just have to be you're out there on the front lines and you're seeing what's happening. You can direct stuff to resources instead of everything's got to be in the rest. That's crazy. They would listen in any other community. That's what they would do. They would see a family like that, and then they would start making their calls and trying to help that family up, hook that family up. But it wouldn't be because that's the department's policy to do that. It would be because some good natured cop would be trying to help a family. You gonna go over there and arrest this family for their kids being in their van like that? Bad condition, but you don't want to. There's the humanitarian side of you doesn't want to help do anything about that.
I think it's something that Michelle used to always say that always sticks with me. It's very expensive to be poor. Very expensive to be poor.
Yeah, man. People go so far as to say it's a war on poor people. They can't stand poor people. They want to make them more poor.
Man.
Kind of going through the chat here to see what your thoughts on this particular subject are. I see you guys are having conversations about a lot of other things. Appreciate that. And all the community going back and forth on some stuff. I appreciate that. Definitely want to talk about that. Kimmer says, shout out to the Omaha Municipal Land Bank for reaching out to figure out how to best engage a North Omaha neighborhood around properties in that community.
Nice.
We've seen them do a lot over time. It didn't seem like they were very communicative before, and then they hired a new ED and things kind of changed, and they started talking to the community a lot more. And now we have success stories like shout out to brother Don Curry, who purchased some land from the land bank in the neighborhood that he grew up in, and was able to do some development. So this is some things that helps as well. I appreciate that. I also see Donnell Sessions in the chat. I appreciate you coming back, because OHA has refused to grant new Section 8 vouchers since 2021. They're creating and part of the problem.
Man, big time. I mean, think about the name, Omaha Housing Authority. Like, who's really the authority on housing in Omaha? Like, who's taking lead on this? Because it seems like everybody's washing their hands of the situation or have plausible deniability. Oh, that's not my job. Like, whose job is it?
Big time. Kimmer says, Tamara Dwyer sent me a breakdown of homelessness by legislative district. I'm happy to share it. Yeah, I'd love to see that. For those of you who remember, Tamara Dwyer is she's head of the homeless. I can't remember her title, but she's the one that's in charge of trying to solve this homeless problem. And she's the one that McDonald called the DEI hire.
Yeah.
That's the one. She's doing the good work. We're finding out. One good thing about him saying that about her, he put her name out there, and now we're finding out about all the good work she's doing.
Man.
Yeah, man. Mama God in the chat says there are rare, good, few affordable ones left and hard to get in. Residents don't leave. I've been trying to get out of this apartment for I don't know how long, and every situation I look at personally is just like, man, I better go ahead and stay here.
Again, somewhere to play, somewhere to live. Plays a big part. Big part.
Appreciate that. 7:52. If you believe in the concept of time, we got about 8 minutes left in the show. I know you want to wrap this, buddy. Let us know. Let's come back around to what you're talking about here, and we'll go visit the chat as we go. And appreciate everybody who's joining us in the chat and having such great conversation here today on this. We definitely got to do something. Our next season is going to be Space is the Place. We're going to be talking a lot about all of this and seeing if we can find some solutions and moving forward when it comes to the housing and homeless situation here as well.
Man, big time. And again, big shout out to the chat, keeping it going, letting your minds be free, letting your voices be heard. We need more of it. Again, we just came off of the housing story, which has been kind of close to our hearts and really close to the closest example, if you will, to what it is that we hope to happen here with this ecosystem that we're building. Again, this morning show isn't necessarily a news show. We talk about the news, we dissect the news, we might, present some information, some facts throughout the course of the conversation, but it's mostly a conversation. But we do recognize that there is a need for a legitimate news platform in our community. And again, this what's happening from this housing situation is a prime example. Again, those from the community, like I said, the Paul Philmans, the Brother Sherman Wells, that's journalism. What Brother Sherman Wells did with the City View Apartments, taking his phone out, taking video, speaking to the stakeholders, if you will, and presenting the information to the public. That's citizen journalism. And now that situation is at a receivership. And again, we can have impacts like that in other places. So again, we are gearing up for our content creators camp. That's kind of our onboarding introduction, if you will, to citizen journalism. We have some journalism professionals that we're working with that will, be instructors on this. But the whole point is, again, I'll be getting as we wrap up into some of the things that are some of the responses to Trump. But the big one is, again, just information. The sharing the resources of information. How do we've been asking this question? How do you get your information? How do you get your news, especially about things that matter to you in your community, close to your locale? And we're building on that. And it seems like it's not just us. Again, shout out to Nebraska Examiner reporting on the citizen journalism situation. Several areas throughout the state are also turning to citizen journalists. Definitely check out this article. I'll post it on Friends Of if you're interested. But again, not just in Nebraska, but also we talked about a few outlets in Kansas struggling to stay afloat. But just again, information is big, especially in light of this news article that recently dropped. Shout out to Senator McKinney, who's fighting the fight, but without journalists, without people also watching, it's kind of hard. Again, Senator McKinney just rang the bell on a lot of the bills that are going in the other direction of the citizens, the voters of Nebraska voting for things like medical marijuana. But again, a lot of bills coming to undermine some of those things. And again, if it's not for the watchful eye of the public, then you won't know about some of these things. So again, urging a lot of people, not just on the state level, but also the local level, i.e. housing situations and a few other things that are going on. We need your voice. We need you. And again, Paul and I are doing all that we can, but there's a lot more that we can do with your help. So,
Go ahead. I was just gonna just thought about giving a shout out to Megan Hunt, who was got some footage out there, her speaking to the legislature about this. Excuse me. Pardon me. She says that that's what this whole idea of the people are voting for stuff and they're kind of being ignored. They're kind of going back on a lot of stuff that the people said they want. And it seems to me another situation where like a lot of legislatures are ignoring what the people are voting for and trying to peel back on that stuff for political reasons. It's all too obvious to see that, and it's messed up. But Senator Terrell McKinney's not the only one that sees this in the legislature and in the city.
Man.
And I just really appreciate everybody who's chiming up about that. They did a lot of work. She did a lot of work to push certain things, and got a lot of support from the public on that, and votes and everything else. And it's still stuff getting repealed and put, or they're trying to like peel stuff back all the time. So it's a constant fight. And like Buddy's saying, we need people to really kind of step up with being able to go and push and talk to your legislature and talk to your legislator and really kind of push on that. So.
Yeah,
how to do it.
And now more than ever, again, valuable, reliable information is becoming fewer and far between, even on the national level. Of course, NPR and PBS reports have come out about them possibly, actually somebody mentioned about Head Start getting a haircut on their funding. PBS, NPR getting some too. Like it's going across the board as far as public entities getting gutted financially. And now not just public, but some of your staple private entities like CBS's 60 Minutes in shambles recently, coming out of actually, speaking of NPR, NPR reported that the longtime head of CBS actually resigned earlier this week as the network, according to the article, parent company contemplates a settlement with President Trump over his lawsuit, focusing on the interview the show did with then Vice President Kamala Harris. Again, he's accusing them of basically making them look bad.
It is laughable, except for the fact that CBS is capitulating to this mess enough for the person that's in charge of 60 Minutes to step down, feeling like he's not going to get anywhere with this situation. So look out for 60 Minutes not being less of a source because of this situation. It's a real trip. It shows you that we're in a different era. It's a different time. It's a different need. We need more people who are the one thing they're pushing all their social media all the time, and we always talk about how they misuse social media. But the one thing they can't stop is us using the social media as well. And this is where we're going with the citizen journalism and the content creator camp, is because of that. It's like you already are on your phone, you already are posting stuff. Let's figure out how to put some tenets of journalism in it so you can be a trusted source. And you, as a trusted source, are helping deliver the news when there's not, when sometimes we're not getting it, or we're not, or it's being mishandled,
Man,
or even fake news, to be honest. So
that part. And I definitely agree. Sister Kara Warner in the chat saying collaborative efforts will be the key to ensuring people are aware of the local happenings. Again, you know, we're ringing the bell, we're providing a platform, we have the microphone, but we're not everywhere. We don't have all the information. So again, we need all of you and all of us, you know, to come together and really speak up and speak out. And we're the only ones that can do it. It's not even that, you know, we need you to do it. We're the only ones that can do it because nobody else can tell your story like you can. And as we see, when other people try to tell our story, they don't get it right.
big time.
So
much that is the word. Tony Johnson in the chat is saying we need our local elected to utilize community journalism to share their updates on issues in community and the work they are doing. Yep. Good example of that is our Senator Cypher with Senator
man,
George Kennedy that faithfully comes on, has been doing it for years now to give us updates on issues in the community and what's happening and so on and so forth.
man, said he feel like he need to do more on top of that.
Before we get out of here, Matthew Miller Jenkins is tossing back out there the LAHEAP LIHEAP providing utilities payments for low income Americans has been shut down from Trump cuts. Those of you depending on some of those funds there, I'm not too familiar myself with this organization, but if you've been getting some help there, shutdowns, another thing that's going to be shut down. There's a lot that's happening here. Highly suggest, we don't have enough time to really get into it, but highly suggested to start taking a look at what's going on with your dollars in a bigger way, because they're going to start garnishing wages when it comes to student loan debt, when it comes to taxes debts. What was the other one you said, buddy?
Hospital bills, medical
and
bills.
this is in the climate of organizations funds being taken away to be able to help when you get into a messed up situation. So you might look up and see they're going to be garnishing your wages out of your bank account if we don't get some things straight. Make the call to the student loan people, make the call to your debtors. I remember, I think this was a year ago. Somebody was saying, I think it was Joaquin Fox was saying, the stuff that's coming means pay off your debts, stack your cash. We need to really start talking about it, unfortunately. And I think for the rest of this election season, that's going to be one of my big questions is with all these cuts and all to these programs and all these places that you could go to get some help for certain things like utility bills, food, and so on. What's going to happen when they start touching you, garnishing your wages for student loans and all kinds of other stuff that's going on? What's going to happen to you financially? What can you do as a elected official to help? Will be the question.
Man, it's getting harder. It's getting harder out there for the people, man. So, yeah. Again, when it gets this hard, all we can do really is turn to each other, and you know, band together to try to get through it. That rugged individualism is only going to get you so far. Man. So. Yeah, definitely a crazy situation, but we're here to, you know, continue to figure out how to navigate through it all together. So I appreciate the love, appreciate everybody out there doing the work. And yeah, I'm gonna have to call my student loan people because I still owe.
Here, let me touch my account. I'm going to put some cash out right now.
Man, get your hand out of my pocket. Man,
be back to doing money orders to pay some bills around here in a minute.
Man, just how far like of a fall that is to go from, you know, hoping and any day student loans can be forgiven to uncles they coming back for chips with extra dip,
double dipping.
Man,
Ariel's 402 just wanted to give you a shout out. He said I'm paying off my house this year. I know Mayor Sanchez has done major sacrificing when it comes to the extras in the fun of life in order to stack cash, in order to pay off stuff. And he's one person I look to as an example of somebody who really put in the work to make, you know, keep that focus all year long. That's what's up. Appreciate you. And I'm happy for you too. I'm glad that that's happening, man. We all got to think on that level. Pay off debts. Don't acquire any more debt if you can't. Know a lot of people out here buying groceries on the credit card. I've been one of them. And get that card paid off and start trying to figure these things out. If you owe some money to the IRS like me, give them a call and be like, we got to make some arrangements. Don't put this stuff off because they're gonna come for you, and you won't be able to do nothing about it.
Man, and not just the debt, but the credit reporting side of it too. Shout out to Mama Guy reminding us that. She says CFPB is still not resolved. Get medical debt on credit report handled. Talk about housing earlier. I mean, imagine how hard it'll be to get in housing when your credit is shot because, all of this coming down and reporting all at the same time. It's kind of a perfect storm of craziness.
So another reason why people are staying where they're at.
Man.
Your credit might not be able to reflect you getting into any new place. So,
man, slippery slope we're on, man.
Times is tough, but we're gonna keep on talking about it and try to find some solutions. I appreciate that very much. What's up? Wanda loses. Summing it up with this. She says, my daughter and I went to Dairy Queen yesterday. She ordered a large shake, and I had a medium shake. $13. What is the world coming to?
Tell me about it, man.
Says it all. I'm glad I ain't got no kids. I can't imagine. Going to McDonald's these days, you can walk away with a $50 bill if you got 3 kids.
No exaggeration. No exaggeration. Happy Meal's making me mad.
Man, Tony Johnson also said he's just paid off his last rental property, and it's a good feeling now. Everything's 100% profit.
Man, beautiful. Congratulations.
Definitely want to celebrate that stuff for us, for real, in a big way. Appreciate you guys. It's 8:06 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're going to get out of here. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Man, hopefully we did some good today. Share some information. Hopefully you learned some things. We got some food for thought. Equipped to go out, in the community and do what you got to do, man. Remember, this is the season of the ballot and the bullet. Trying to ask the question, what is your bullet? How do you fight? How are you fighting back against the powers that be, if you will? How are you fighting for the world that you would like to see, the changes that you would like to be, to make it happen? So again, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul.
Oh, in the morning. Hey.
Yeah. See, there you go. Yeah. Also, it is Friday, man. So look out for the weekly wrap coming your way a little later on this afternoon. But yeah, in the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
Take it away, man.
Right on. We're going to get up out of here. Pop says, thank you for an excellent week of shows despite your sleep deprivation and long-lasting illness. Yeah, man. He says, you guys are great. Have a great weekend. Good weekend, and see you all on Monday. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Very much. Thank you for everybody that's come through today. I'm so happy to be able to talk to everyone that we were talking to today. We'll have some special guests coming in on Monday, so stay tuned for that. And we'll definitely be continuing on. If you got anything fun happening this weekend, drop it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. We'd love to see what's going on, any of the things that we're missing, and hopefully you'll be able to hit some of these things that we talked about earlier in the show. If you missed any parts of the show, go back to YouTube and check it out. Lots of haps in the first part of the show. I try to stack them all there so you can go there and see what's going on this weekend and get a good idea of where we can go support and all that good stuff. So appreciate it. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody who's joining us. We'll get together and talk more. We'll talk more on Monday. You guys take care of yourselves this weekend. Oh, shout out to the Umaha Tribe elders for allowing
there you go
on this land. Shout out for our elders allowing us to speak before you, and shout out to you, the Chat Chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Shout out to all of the members as well, the $10 people, $25 people, and the $50 people. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
I always put out there, send an email every once in a while that says, you guys want to be shouted out? Most people are like, nah, no, not necessary. We just want to support. So shout out to y'all that's doing that. Appreciate that. And if you want to be a member of the channel as well, please go to firstsky.omaha.com and hit the join button and become a reoccurring member of the channel so we can continue this and expand this. And stay tuned for some announcements on expanding coming soon.
Hey.
Yes. I think it's we're coming up on the 5th year. Remember, Ice Cube just said something about that. You got to grind on something with no expectation to pay for at least 5 years before anything starts to move. And maybe this year we'll break even. We will see. But we see a need for it. You guys are calling for a need for it. I appreciate every time you guys mention that. I didn't mention in the chat, but in the chat, people are saying we need more First Skies. Yeah. We're definitely working on expanding and growing our citizen journalism army. And bringing on more journalists at some point, and all kinds of stuff going on that we are going to try to push for in order to really get this information to people and be able to keep on talking to the people. I know I see people that are trying to move in the direction that we are when it comes to being able to speak with the community, because it's one thing to put the news out there, but it's another thing to find out what the people are actually feeling like is news and what they need to hear and want to hear, and having a roundtable discussion about it, which is what we're doing 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 to 8 in the morning. So appreciate you. We love you too. Right on, Mama God. Appreciate you guys, and you guys take care of yourselves. We'll see you on Monday. Have a good one.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any